So let me show you the system here. We've got the receivers here. They're numbered, so 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're also color coded. So black, blue, green, gray, maroon, orange, purple, and red. And so yeah, 8 receivers here. They are all power conditioned with the firming unit on top, so they're running through that. So this would be obviously the master on-off switch. Those color coordinations also apply to the microphones. So we have the packs, which can be independently programmed. So we have 5 lavalier packs and then 3 handhelds, which I can show you those too. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, so the colors on the end match the color of what's labeled. So each one can be programmed individually, obviously, for the channel, and then the color coding is just to help you out. It's also color coded in the XLR patches here, and like we noted before, the first 6 channels are XLR, and then the last 2 are 1/4 inch, and so you have 8 microphones across the board here. Even though we should have 6 active with the 2 backups essentially. So that's kind of the front of the unit. We have antennas going through a custom distribution system, which I'll show you in a second. But they route out of here, so A and a B, and then those will go out to your paddles. We're going to send you with both types of paddles. One of them is the traditional one you would see with Shure, which is your standard paddle with a built-in gain. We're only going to run, it's a small room, so you're not going to need that much space for the paddles. And then the second one, I'll walk over a little further, is this kind of DIY system I've found. And the reason why I want to use 2 different types, or the thought at least, you can override this if you want, is the thought that because it's a diversity antenna system, if one of these antennas tends to work better than the other, then it'll automatically switch between the 2. And in our tests, actually, the kind of off-brand DIY one was favored in the diversity pair for some reason. So if you want to use just the Shures, I don't care, but we're going to send you both and you can decide from there. So that's the front. Let's walk around to the back here. So here's where it gets a little fun, at least for me. Receivers, let's just go down from left to right. The first bank vertically is your antennas. And so those, it's kind of hard to see in, those are all tied into the line that goes to this side. So these are all antenna Bs vertically, and then it's power, right? So those 4 powers, XLR, obviously. It does have a 1/4 inch out, but we're not using it. And then antenna A. And so obviously it's the same on both sides. So let's go back to the left side here. The antenna Bs are going to come out to this unit. So this is essentially the antenna distributor. So instead of having a 1 unit rack, this is a coax based distributor, and it's a unity gain, meaning that there's no loss in signal. And so the antenna comes into this line here and then is amplified obviously with power and goes out to 8. So 4 on the left and 4 on the right. And so both sets of boxes are paired the same way. So another set, diversity antenna distribution system. So yeah, essentially you have those 2 units. And then the other, so that's obviously different than what you would probably see in a traditional setup. There was an audio engineer who had a YouTube video, and that's who I followed, and it worked pretty well. The other thing that's a little different is instead of having individual power for each one of these units, I'm using 2 power combiners essentially. And so the 4 units on my left and the 4 units on the right, they have their own power. So instead of having all 8 boxes in there, it's just 2. And those are kind of in the back. And then you have the color-coded XLRs as the outs that go down to the snake, which connect to the box below, which you saw earlier. And that's pretty much it. You have A and B, like I said before, feeding to your paddles, and that should be the whole system. And you probably already know this, but as far as like syncing wireless mics to the receiver, you want to go one at a time and go down, sync the first channel, then the second one. This one doesn't tell you frequency numbers, it tells you groups and letters. So it's like A through Z, so it'll do that group first, and then it'll do channel, which I think is 1 through 12. And so in theory, they should all live on the same group, which is, F or G or C, or whatever it chooses. And it'll scan all the frequencies and tell you that group has the most available channels. And then theoretically, you should be able to fit all 8 channels within that group, and obviously you would figure it out from there if that works or doesn't work, because theory and practice don't always add up. So, anyways, thanks for watching this, dude. Good luck tomorrow, and let me know if you have any questions.